Alright, guys. My name is Darren Silvers, owner-operator of Zenkaikon. We are an entertainment company that mostly specializes in entertainment news and cosplay news. Why? Because, well, it's just how that happened. And this is my ongoing process of explaining to people the business of cosplay photography. I take your hobby and turn it into a business. Most people understand the basics of doing photography and doing that, and a lot of cosplayers understand how sponsorships work and make money along those lines. I'm going to go through a lot of different parts that go in between that. So there's a lot of things you need to understand and do. Keep yourself, generally speaking, somewhat afloat so you're not flailing about. When you're ready to go and take that step towards making a business, you have to think of several things. Most important ones are the methods of monetization. I am not caffeinated enough for that word. Taxes, intellectual property, and public relations. Each one of these things are very important. Most people will tell you about one and forget about the rest. Most people understand the public relations part, which is your front-facing portion, but the back half, the intellectual property, the taxes, and the methods in which you get paid are far more important and should be really touched upon. There's lots of things you should expect as problems to begin with. The what are you doing portion of the day. Your photo rights, who owns them, how to sell your works to clients, fans, what have you, which payment paid is right for you, and social media marketing, why it's so freaking hard, especially nowadays. That's really dark. You'll own everything and nothing is the problem with photo rights. Photo rights, most people think that you have a right selling means you own it outright, it's yours, it's 100% yours, and that's not entirely true. There's lots of different versions of photography rights, and these are things that you should understand and know, especially as a photographer and as a cosplayer. Read your contract, read what you put in for whatever reason, and understand that there are defaults to everything if you don't establish these things prior. The US government especially has varying levels of copyright and intellectual property rules, and you should talk to a lawyer if at any point in time you have really deep if you ever have a really deep problem with this. Other countries have different laws, and it gets really complicated from there. So different types of photo rights are sole ownership, shared ownership, attribution, and for individual use. Those are the most common ones. There are sub-versions of that, and it gets convoluted and complicated from there. And again, if you have any kind of questions, talk to a lawyer. Look these things up online, and people online are idiots. Don't listen to them. Do not get your law information from Reddit, for the love of God. So, the different types of photo rights. Sole ownership means that you are the sole owner. You can sell the rights to your licensing or the rights to your imagery and your photos to third parties, or put them on photo bucket style things. Code drops, I think, is one that's pretty popular. Photo bucket was popular back in the day. I don't really know. I don't use these things any longer. I publish everything on my own site. Be very aware of the fact that as you do this, you must, if you put out your rights and what you're selling to people, you must not exceed what you yourself are allowed to do with those same pictures. If you say that if you're selling the ownership of those things for commercial reasons, you start sharing those same imagery online on Instagram or what have you, you've officially broken the contract, and it gets complicated from there. Shared rights are the most common, and it's usually what ends up happening for any and all cosplay shoots where there's no change of money, if no one just says anything. Generally speaking, the cosplayer has the rights to the pictures, and so does the photographer. What does that mean? You can both share them and do whatever you want with them, but at the same time, you're both in the wrong for doing so. It's a nice little complication. When you have shared rights, it's incredibly difficult to sell to third-party people in any way, shape, or form. So you need to get both people on the same page. The right is the fact both of you can claim ownership and modify the images as necessary and change them as you would, but you both still own the same rights to the same base photo. If you change them enough, you can sell to third party, but there's a certain level of change you have to make to the overall inquiry first. And then there's attribution. There are 4 types of attributions. And I can go through all of them, but it's really complicated. The one that I usually end up using is attribution commercial use, which is someone can take your images and sell them. As long as they pay you for those rights first, it's usually it's either a by the year thing or it's a forever thing. As long as they attribute you, they say, this is the model, this is the photographer, this is when it was done, blah, 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 in any way, shape, or form with the selling of the commercial use product. That's the one I normally use. There are, of course, derivative versions, attribution, just straight attribution, which just means anyone can share your thing for whatever reason that they want.
Can you slow down a little bit?
Sure.
Thank you. I just feel like you're talking so fast that I just need to get my ability to process.
That's all right. I'm going to pause in a second anyway to see if anyone has any questions. So, yeah. So, and then you have individual use and personal use only imagery, which is you can share this online, you can share it with your friends, you can't sell it. Those are the basic 4 versions. All right. So, anyone have any questions on photo rights? What you can and cannot do with them, how you can sell them, how you cannot sell them. Now's a good chance to ask questions. No? All right. Yes.
Could you give a couple more examples of like what would be exceeding the rights when you're the sole owner?
When you are a sole owner, you usually sell off those rights to someone else. You can generally do whatever you want with them as long as you're the sole owner of those things. But if you sell those rights to a third party for whatever reason, you're still the sole owner of those. You're still considered the sole owner, but if you license them out for whatever reason, you then have to be aware of those licensing agreements that you yourself have put through. There are a couple of, I wish my buddy was here. My friend was here, who was supposed to be here with me. If he was here, he'd be able to go and tell you about, there was a law case where a sole owner of a cartoon image, sold off a licensing agreement to, I believe it was a bakery of some kind, for one of their promotions supposed to last X amount of months. I think it was like a 3-month process thing for Halloween, I believe. And he wasn't supposed to share it with anyone. He wasn't supposed to do anything with it during that 3-month process. That was his thing. He put it in a portfolio that caught a lot of traction online. People kept seeing it. It ended up breaking the overall relationship, and he ended up getting sued for a couple $1,000s for that process. So if you do sell your rights to things, you should immediately make sure that you aren't breaking anything in the contract. You should go through your own digital history, make sure you are removing everything you need. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I've just been doing business for a very long time. If you have any deep questions on that thing, you can talk to your lawyer. You have a question?
Oh, yeah. So say you have a following after a photographer and they're still posting images, do you have any rights as a model to say that you can't use your images or keep them?
That would be a shared ownership thing, which again is complicated. If there was an exchange of money, or if there was in any way, shape, or form a contract prior, you should always get a contract with these things. This is why whenever I take pictures with people, I make them sign a contract. Go, here's our lines, here's our rules, whatever, what have you. If you have a falling out with the photographer, check your contract, check to see what was said between the two of you, and make sure that they're following it word for word. If they are not following it, then they are, at that point in time, the relationship has broken, and the ownership should change the sole ownership to the person who did not break the overall contract. It's usually how that works. But again, talk to a lawyer about these things. If it's not a huge deal, it just kind of sucks, and you're kind of stuck with it. If it costs you a couple $1,000 though, it's like, okay, it's actionable. I need you to pay me here. That's what I'm going. Anyone else? Anyone else before we move on? All right. So I just discussed that earlier. Now, tell me what the rights are. What can you do with them? Again, your contract matters there. Just check what is said. Check what is being said. Make sure that whatever is put out there is exactly what is being followed. This is why some photographers will have you sign a quick thing digitally, or they'll send you a thing like, hey, this is what I'm doing with the thing, pay me this much, Here's the overall answer. It's a very informal project, it's still a contract. So keep track of these things, make sure you have them. Most people who are serious about this will keep, in some way, shape, or form, their receipts. So, let's talk about my personal favorite, location releases. Why can't I shoot here? There's a law for that. Location releases are incredibly complicated, and depending upon what you're doing will determine whether or not you need a location release. You may need a location release if location is considered a private space, a residence, or isn't strictly a public space. What's not a strictly public space? It's considered a private public space. Central Park is one of the most popular versions of this I can think of, as it is a public space, but it is not a public space. I know, New York City law makes my head hurt too. A location release is necessary if you wish to sell imagery for commercial uses, publish the imagery for profit, again, that's commercial uses, and on a photo shoot which may clash with the space owner's moral or religious beliefs. Anyone have any questions on location releases before I move on? Because I know that was a quick little thing there, but honestly, that's all you really need to know about that. If you are taking shoots in like another thing about location releases, if no one knows where you are, there's no distinguishable portion as to where you could be regarding location releases, you can generally get away with not needing one. Lots of times, especially in state parks, you can deal with things like that. If it's unknown, if you can't possibly tell, oh, I'm totally in this one state park. No one knows, no one can tell, it's just in ambiguous forest, you're generally okay. You have recognizable pieces of greenery, location, foliage, whatever, you have an issue there. Which is why a lot of people people will end up doing shoots in random abandoned buildings and what have you. I know we've all seen that. That's usually why. And while it's not considered a private space, or it's not considered a public space because no one can really tell where that building is, what's going on there, people won't get in trouble. Even if the owner comes forward, they have to go and prove that this is my space. They have to go and have a general understanding is that this was mine, they shouldn't have been there, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. You have to go through the whole process there. It's convoluted as heck regarding location releases. If you are unsure, just go ahead and get one. It's usually about, think on what state you're in, it can change. And then of course there are city releases, because New York City is, again, a hellhole, and I hate it. But everyone wants to shoot there, so yay. Oh. Alright, how to sell and what to sell. This is for any of you who are not strictly photographers, or even if you are photographers. What are you going to sell and how are you going to sell it? Are you selling photography service? Are you selling prints, photos of yourself or others? Or are you selling merchandise in those forms? Right now we are in the age of the influencer, which means very often you are selling essentially just a good word. Or you're selling someone to promote your product, your image, your location, what have you. But if you're going to do that, make sure there's a bang for your buck moment there. Generally speaking, if you're selling something, you should expect about 10% of the people who follow you or who follow the person you're having sell for you to come back and actually do anything. 10% is the average, not the 100%, this is exactly what it'll be every single time. That is the average. You have to go and plan for these things and make sure that you are properly selling to the right people. So, photography and modeling service, that is, I'm not sure if that's dark for me or just, or is it dark for everyone? It's dark for everyone. Alright. Selling photography services or modeling services. Very easy. First, you define clientele. Clientele finding is simple, overall thing. As a model or as a photographer, the fastest way of doing this is social media or Facebook groups, and finding appointments and booking appointments that way. I'm not sure if anyone here pays attention, but I saw like 25 million. Is there any photographers available during HatsuCon beforehand? And you'll always see that constantly. The other way around is not as often, but if you're in any of the cosplay groups, occasionally you'll see someone going, hey, I'm doing a big shoot. Do we have any people doing this? And I usually say, I'm doing a big shoot. It's a paid shoot. Is anyone interested in doing this? That's how I normally do these things. If you are having a hard time with that stuff, you can search groups individually by keywords. Looking for models, looking for photographers, things like that. Finding those things, searching through the groups and the Facebook pages and Twitter and what have you, and going, oh hey, and just send them off your portfolio, send them off whatever you need and whatever you have. If you don't have a portfolio, you probably do usually need to order it first. You need to order your stuff together. It's really not that hard, it just seems like it should be. Another method of finding clientele, one that I personally suggest is Model Mayhem. Model Mayhem is a large overall site where photographers and models come together for usually commercial use things or large expensive projects, large expensive projects. You can find people, you can discuss this is how much that we're paying for the shoot, and you can say this is where the location will be, and you can put out a general ad. It's better than trying to put out an ad on Craigslist. For the love of God, don't go to any photo shoot things on Craigslist. It's just for your own safety. I've heard some horror stories. I'm just going to go over that. Don't do that. But model making is generally, you set up a profile of yourself, whether you're a model photographer, you know, this is what I've done, this is what I'm planning to do, and you say this is my general location. It's a very easy site to use. I highly suggest, but if you're going to put out an ad, it will cost you money to put out an ad and go, hey, I'm going to do a shoot for this thing. It's just the way that site works and how it will go. And of course, the most popular way of doing things, word of mouth is going viral. I've never gone viral. I will probably never go viral. And if I do go viral, it'll be for the wrong thing. But with that being said, though, a lot of people will say outright, I'm a good photographer. I see what I'm going to do, and I'm very respectful. I try to make sure everyone's comfortable and having a good time, and I don't want to have people upset or angry at the end of the shoot. I don't want anyone being, generally speaking, annoyed at the end of the shoot. Actually, no, I think I've gone viral once. Does anyone remember the stripper pole Katsucon? Yeah, that was me. I did that photo shoot. That was entirely me. It was on one of the lobby floors. You can see my fat backside as I'm taking pictures. So that was just a moment where I went viral, and then COVID happened, and I can't capitalize on any of it. So that was my viral moment that I could never capitalize on, because that's my look. But again, getting my name out there, letting people know, hey, we do shoots, we'll do crazy things, we'll set up random stuff. We do what we need to do. Any questions on finding clientele, finding work, what have you? So I'm going to move on in a minute to stores. No? No one? All right. And if you're going to do any work at all, again, contracts. Get some kind of contract. Get something. Writing is always good. Get it in some way, shape, or form so people know here's what we're going to do with it. Here's as far as we'll go with it. What have you? Please. All right. Stores. How do you make a store? What do you do with it? What is it good for? Stores are good for digital prints, physical prints, and merchandise. Now, there are very few cosplayers in America who can sell physical prints in a generally open area. It'll be the larger name people. I think the only person I've ever seen actually do that is Yaya Han. That's kind of it. I haven't seen anyone else do it at a convention. There are, of course, groups, but they sell spicy content pictures. And if that's what you're going to do, that's a different panel, but we can discuss that privately. Digital prints is, of course, the most popular, doing everything right now. Patreon's very big. People like Subscribestar. You can sell things on Etsy. What have you? It's right there. It's very easy. But merchandise, if you have shirts, keychains, hats, whatever, you've got it. It's right there. We have several shirts on our own website. We've got bikini tops. We've got whatever we have on our own website. merchandise is usually apparel, t-shirts, but sometimes it's funny little things like stamps and coins and things. And there are 3 general ways of doing this. There are, of course, the pre-made services sites, Etsy, Bedbox, Shutter, what have you, where it's really easy. The audience is already kind of there. They can just search for a product and boop, they might find your stuff, they might not. The problem, your payment gateway is already handled by the site itself. So as long as you aren't breaking the site's rules, you're not breaking the payment gateway's rules, you're fine to go. Drag and drop everything into place is easy. I don't have to do anything harder in coding. Only problem with this is the site's not very customizable. Twice the amount is taken when your product is sold, once from the pay gate and then once again from the site itself. Because whoever is selling something, they go, oh, I'll take your money, take a little bit for myself. They go, oh, thank you, and then they take a little bit for themselves, and then you get what you're getting. It's usually, I think it's like 20% at the end of it. Average is about 20% at the end of everything. You are beholden to more layers of rules and regulations in terms of service than if you were to build your own website. And those things can change at the drop of a hat, just instantly. You'll be perfectly in compliance one day and then completely out of compliance the next. This happens sometimes in social media. It's always fun when I go, oh, I've been flagged for something from 7 years ago. Thanks. Now I can't run ads. The other issue is copycats can easily steal your work or ideas and sell them themselves. A number of times I've seen people complaining that a shirt was stolen from someone else. I go, oh, where were you selling it? I was selling it on Amazon Marketplace. That was a problem. You should have done that. That's why they stole it. It was a good design, but they're better advertisers. And many only allow the sales of physical goods. That's just honest truth. Very many of these sites only allow the sale of physical goods, except for Bedbox, which is digital only. Storefront number 2 is what my group personally does, a custom website. You've got WordPress with WooCommerce, a Joomla site, Magento, Drupal. There's tons of different content management systems you can go and choose and do. They're fully customizable. They're a lower operating cost in the long run. You'll pay an upfront fee to get everything running. Once it's running, I think I'm spending $8 a month, tops. You can sell both digital and physical prints. You can tell I've done this for a while. I immediately just swap microphones. You can put up samples and freebies for fans. If you go on the Zenkaikon website, you go to gallery, you have a free gallery, and you have a paid gallery. 2 different things. And of course, the issues with having these kind of things. One, you have to have some kind of coding experience or someone who knows what they're doing with coding. And you have to generate traffic on your own to your own audience. There is no, people can just search for it and it's there. You have to do it step by step on your own. It is long run worth it, short run it is painful, and it'll make you doubt yourself the whole way. But it is very worth it. And the final way, the way that I do not suggest doing this, brick and mortar sales. Essentially speaking, you will probably only do this at conventions or you will put your stuff up in a art house. Those are your really only options there. Would not suggest this in any way, shape, or form regarding selling things personally. You will need a card reader, you'll need to have a physical place because you are paying rent of some way, shape, or form. The vendor hall, they pay money to be there. It's the way that it works. It is a higher cost up front. It might be a better return if you are popular and you have really good stuff. People go, oh, this is cool. They'll come over and check out your stuff. But I would not suggest this if you are just selling prints. I would suggest if you have a bunch of merchandise and things like that. In which case you're going to need stock. It takes time to get these things and it will not be easy. Alright. That's okay. Anyone have any questions on the places to sell things before I move on to the part that will make your head explode? Alright. I'm sure there was something else here, but I can't remember what it was. I don't have enough coffee. So, payment gateways and you. There are hundreds of payment gateways. There are three things you should understand. One, you have to follow their rules. Two, they have to follow Visa's rules. And three, they will take a cut of your stuff, no matter what, because you are using their service. That's just the way that it rolls. As I said, there are literally hundreds of payment gateways. And depending upon what you're doing, what you're selling, will determine what, or even where you're selling, will determine what kind of payment gateway you are using. So the most popular ones are, of course, PayPal and Stripe in the United States. You can also use Apple Pay or Google Checkout. You need to go and set up for PayPal and Stripe, you don't need to set up a merchant account. For Google Checkout and Apple Pay, I believe you need to have a merchant account first. You can get yourself an easy reader, scanner, what have you, for credit card sales physically on site, or you can use your phone to quickly scan things between two people. These are very easy ways of handling things and upfront. Many other payment gateways will just set you up with a payment on-site system, a POS system. So, why are there so many and why does it matter? A lot of these websites have varying rules. And I've watched many people break these rules with their spicier content and then be very upset at Stripe for removing their account. Stripe strictly says you cannot have spicy content and sell it through them. That is their rule. That is the rule that they have. You just have to follow that rule. With that being said, I've had Stripe ban me twice, which is funny because I went, okay, I was banned once, okay, I broke the rules, no big deal, and I moved on to a new payment gateway. They recently emailed me again saying that I've been banned again, and I went, we don't use Stripe, so I don't know how we got banned again. We haven't touched Stripe in 2 years. What is this? I couldn't tell you what happened there. I think Stripe probably forgot I existed, unbanned me, and then rebanned me again. Good old Stripe. You gotta love these smart multi-billion-dollar companies. There are, of course, caveats to a lot of these rules. PayPal has a weird rule where as long as you don't use their logo on any of their stuff, they're fine with you buying and selling whatever you want. They're just weird about that. I don't know why. That could, of course, change. Terms and services change. Keep track of them. Keep track of terms and services of your payment gateway. Nothing sucks more than losing all your money in the middle of buying and selling stuff. All right, next part is, here's the video for the next part. No, there's not. Social media. Likes are good, sales are better. I will say this again. I went viral for my silly stripper pole shooting at Katsucon, and we got nothing out of the deal. Nothing. I got a lot of likes and a lot of thumbs ups and hearts on Instagram and what have you. Not one sale. Not one sale. So to me, was it worth it? Not really. Not even a little bit. I make more sales just doing good content and offering it out to people. So doing something like that. I know a lot of people who are very obsessed with their social media likes, their retweets, their what have you. And while it's very good to get your stuff out there, if no one's buying any of your stuff, it doesn't really matter. This is why I said before, influencers are good, but make sure you're getting your money worth. If you have someone who has like 5 million followers, and you do an ad with them, you get 500 sales off of that, that wasn't worth your money. It was not worth your money. I'm sorry, I don't know what you were selling, but 500 is not worth 5 million. You get 5 million eyeballs on this, and 500 people, that's less than 1%. It's not worth it. So be aware of that. See if the people that they cultivate are buyers and sellers, that they're actually going to do the things that they're doing. Do I have a video with this? I do. I do have a video with this.
Living a golden experience. My life is living delirious. I keep that star on my back. Look at my face, can't fear shit.
This is a ongoing thing of straddling the line of what's sensible and not.
Young gang starts with the kill switch. Jojo, pose, pose, pose. Jojo, pose, pose, pose. Jojo, pose, pose, pose.
That is still up on YouTube, I don't know how. To this day, I don't know how. But YouTube has said it's fine. I'm like, cool, great. Apparently, butts are okay. I made the exact same face. I'm like, how is this still here? I put this up here so we would get banned from YouTube, but I'd have to stop using it. And they haven't banned us. And I'm just like,
You ban people for so much less.
and I don't know how. Now, the top things in social media right now is Facebook should be down at the bottom now. So you've got Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter are the general topics right now. If you're using TikTok, I don't know how you sell things on TikTok. TikTok doesn't know how you sell things on TikTok. I've watched TikTok. I've seen TikToks of things and I went, oh, that's cool, I would like to buy that, and then like there's no link and I go. So it's very interesting. If you're going to do TikToks, you're going to have things, I think you have to put in a link or a link tree or something in your bio so people can buy the things that you're showing off. Or you have to give a quick announcement, this is what this is. And then that usually gets people to go and find things. If you're going to be selling things on TikTok, though, you should probably get yourself an Amazon referral account. It's really easy to go and do. I was just do that and say, hey, you can buy this here. And then whenever you buy something using your link, you get a certain percentage of the sales from that process. With that being said, if you are looking to make it big on any of those social media platforms, good luck. Good luck. At this point in time, they're so hard regulated. They're so overwhelmingly have someone choosing who the winners and losers are at this point in time. If you are a small creator, you will probably not be able to get what you're looking for on those platforms. But there are, of course, the unknown social medias and the unknown social media tips. There are several social medias that people don't really pay attention to, or people have just said, no, it's terrible for these reasons. I personally like Mastodon and Federator. I use mine personally. Everyone has a Discord, everyone knows what Discord is, and usually there's a self-promotion, what have you in most Discords. Those are usually good ways of getting those things done. If you're looking to do video content, Rumble. Rumble is an up-and-comer. They recently got a lot of money, and they are, generally speaking, a free speech platform. Those are dirty words to you, don't use Rumble. If you just go, I'm looking to go and build a fan base, Rumble will have you have a fan base easier. YouTube, again, the algorithm will not let you make it big. It will not let you become viral. That's just where they are right now. Rumble right now is your best bet if you're looking to do video. There are, of course, other video content sites. BitChute, which is weird and funky and needs something done to it before it can really make it up there. Right now, Rumble is the best dressed out of all the various video content sharing sites. Dailymotion has been out forever and no one really uses it, so don't bother with that. And then there's one more that's only able to be seen on an unknown browser that I can't remember off the top of my head. And if you are going to be doing this though, you want to use the unknown social media, depending upon where you line politically, it's usually wherever you'll end up. Mastodon and Federator networks are usually very left-wing. Mine's is this weird place where I can both look at anime girls and find things on Bigfoot at the same time. Really, that's all that I want in life. This is great. Bigfoot and anime. Good. I get weird stuff occasionally where the religious right originally found me and went, you are terrible people. I went, yeah, and I'm not looking up nun outfits and looking to book a church. I'm not doing that. Now I am. But find where you feel comfortable, find what works for you. They are the Wild West. Just a heads up. Social media quick notes. Campaigns cost money. As I said before, I very often buy ads, usually for things that we're selling. T-shirts, cups, bikini tops. These are things that I usually sell very quickly using our ads. I don't, for some god-awful reason, if you try selling a bikini calendar, you cannot do so on Facebook or Instagram. They will immediately flag your stuff as inappropriate. Even though it's just a calendar. I don't know why it's inappropriate. But I can sell dumbbells. with those exact same images. Don't answer. So when you're doing ads, you should, when you're doing these things, you should know your audience and know what you're looking for. Looking for exposure, don't expect sales. Looking for sales, make sure you're choosing an algorithm that will pick people who normally buy things when they see them. Are ads worth it? It really depends on what you're selling. If you're selling photography services or just images, the answer is no. If you're selling merch, and not just one t-shirt, but several kinds of t-shirts, shoes, pants, whatever, notebooks, books, as long as they aren't just single images, yes, it's a possibility that it'll be worth it. And finally, automate as much as you can. I am one guy running a website that has a couple thousand views a day, and I get about 20 to 30 emails from various things, while also booking models for shoots, while also looking at location things, while also planning a cosplay card meet in New Jersey, while also planning a, what do you call it? It was an anime con with guns. Yes. Yes, we are planning on doing a gun range anime con. Listen, I wanted maids shooting rifles, and by God, I'm gonna make it happen. If you build it, they will come. Anyone have any question about social media? This is where people normally ask questions. No? Nothing? Nothing? Anyone have questions about ad campaigns? Nothing? Okay. Alright. I got 20 minutes. Here's the part that everyone loves. Taxes. When I have to tell the government about my shoots and sales, the government wants their cut. They'll get it. They'll get it. So as we have learned the last couple of years, everyone loves using their debit card, everyone loves using their credit card, everyone loves using their PayPal, their Ethereum wallet, their whatever. And unfortunately, the government now has eyes on all those things. Cash is king when you're trying to hide money from the government. The problem with that is cash is harder to move around. The government will know what you're doing. You must always make sure you are paying attention to it. How much did you spend on your equipment for the year? How much did you spend paying people for things? How much did you spend how much did you make from selling things? How much did you pay off in sales tax? How much did you pay the government in general taxes for either being self-employed or an LLC or what have you? How many people do you have under your payroll? What is the average amount that you pay them per month, and how much are you taking out of taxes for them? There's a ton of various things you have to be aware of as you do this. And it will be very important. You get yourself an accountant, a real one, not an accountant, but an actual accountant. I know that meme. Right. So get your taxes together. Be aware of these things. Make sure you have everything. But as you get things done and do things, and especially with cosplayers and photographers, if you are moving between different states, you have to be aware of these things. Temporary tax IDs are very often required for the sale of physical goods in a physical store at any point in time if you are not in the state of your birth or where your business is registered. You can get a temporary tax ID very easily through any tax office of the state that you will be at. You must be aware of these things to make sure you have it done prior. When you are selling goods at conventions, be aware that you are now operating a physical storefront. You might have yourself a website, but if you brought your stuff over, you're now operating a physical storefront. So you have a slightly different change in your tax burden. You must always make sure you're following the state and local laws applied to the convention you are selling at, so you don't end up getting a nasty email from the IRS sometime in August. Yes?
So you're doing as far as doing distributing electronically instead of giving out, is that still considered a physical store as well?
Start that again?
I said if you're doing photos and you're distributing them electronically rather than physical with thumb drive or print media, is that still considered a physical site?
If you are distributing photos digitally, if you are doing them from your home or from where you are physically.
You're at a con.
Okay, you're at a con.
You're at a con.
If you're doing the photos at the con,
yes.
or are you distributing the photos at the con?
Doing photos at the con, but distributing them to the subjects electronically, is that still considered a physical storefront?
Where are you when you are distributing them? Where are you physically?
Well, I would be distributing from my house electronically.
Then you're fine. Because you are doing the distribution from your home where your state tax ID is there.
Okay, as long as I don't distribute it from the con.
Yes.
So just to clarify that, it doesn't matter if where the money is exchanged as long as the distribution of the product?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is the thing. Yes, you should also. I say yes, but different states have different laws. You should always double check with the state. Always double check with the state. The states make my head hurt, and we do cons across the entirety of the United States, as far out as Texas, and I never want to go to California because the tax burden there will make my head explode. But depending on what state you're in will really determine these things. We've done shoots in different states where we've had to go and pay the state tax for that state we were shooting in other states you don't have to, because we were also distributing in those same states though. Generally speaking, if the distribution happens at home, you're usually okay, but you will have to have paid some kind of, if you have a location release, you will have to go and send some tax money to that state. Does that help? Otherwise, I don't know where you were when you took these pictures. That's not legal advice. That is just common law type stuff. If you can't prove where the person was. Any other questions about taxes and location? We are pretty much done, and I have like 15 minutes to discuss various things. No? All right. Any general questions about things you'd like to learn about various things? No? Okay. So a person was here earlier. I was surprised that I had a person at this convention wanted to do some shoots with me. And she's like, why would she not show up if you book you? Well, because we pay models to do shoots with us, and then we distribute them, usually as marketing pieces and what have you, for people who want to check out on our website. That generally means that we are paying someone to go and do services or work with us. That money comes from our general coffers and then is put on our taxes as payment to a freelancer usually. So I was saying, yeah, we do this and we do this, and she goes, why didn't the person go? We don't do a deposit up front with the person. We go, we're available at this time. If you are available for the shoots, we will do them. We will pay you up front first for the first hour, and then every hour after that. So we pay $65 an hour to go and pay people to do shoots with us. Why do we have a process like that? We sell lots of merch, lots of various other things, and use a lot of the pictures and the imagery to go just get people to check out the website. So it's just, it's a marketing thing for us. Quick and easy and dirty. And the reason we do that is so people will go and check out things. And then we also get a chance to go in and do a lot of cool, different shoots in various locations as a result. Of course it won't show on that screen. Why would it show on that screen? Here's a shoot from Japan that we did. If you ever have to do a shoot in another country, your head will hurt from the sheer amount of understanding the law. So you have to get something translated to your language, but also be translated from their legalese to your legalese, and then back into your language. We did this for again, it was a bikini calendar shoot. It was very simple, very easy that we did. And well, it was very simple and easy to do once we got there. And then when we got back, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm just going to go ahead and do an ad for this. And then Facebook was like, no, you can't advertise that. I go, let me do this exact same thing with dumbbells with a girl in a bikini. Why can't I do a bikini calendar? Why do you hate me? There were several things we had to go and pay them. Japan. I really wish this was brighter on that end, but there we go. Go in and do.
Maybe lights.
Yeah, maybe. But I also don't want to mess with the lights. My very first panel, we lowered the lights so people could see the screen better, and the lights started going hi, oh, hi, like in the middle of the and we're just like, oh. And it was fun, but it was not worth it. This is the more serious panel. I have to be serious. I have to be the business guy. So we do lots of things like this. We also do a lot of crazy off-the-wall shoot type things. Again, that's how we did the stripper pole shoot at Katsucon. We usually build or get something that's outrageous, and we'll bring it to a con for a one-shot. We'll get people who don't talk about it. And people will go, oh, it's this cosplayer, and everyone will get to who the freaking photographers are, the guys who made it happen. And I go, come on, give me what I desire. I feel like Pharrell before he got popular. No one? I'm old. So we did the shoot back in 2015, I believe. There's lots of things we have, including a little video of our time there. It's so dark, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Anyone have any questions, general questions? Comments, concerns, things you'd like to know as a photographer or a cosplayer, things you'd like to learn. If you're looking to go and sell photos, talk to me later. We're looking to go and buy stuff. I am actually looking to go and buy things. We usually buy a lot of attribution shots from people. So, anyone? No? There's just a lot of people with questions at the end. Alright. What else can I talk about? My brain. Here's one for you. For anyone who's looking to do spicy content and sell it online, you will need 2 forms of ID for that person to go and be compliant with WW2257, which is a government law regarding properly making sure that models know what they're getting into and what they're doing for anything that is considered adult. So if you will go, oh, here's the girl, she got her ID, we're good. Here's the girl, here's 2 forms of ID. 2 forms of ID. Just a heads up on it. Things you learn from just being in the business long enough and doing so many different things. You don't want to do spicy content, don't. If you have issues with photographers that are illegal, talk to the cops first. Nothing will make people go, yeah, that makes perfect sense, than a police report. Real fast. There's no question on that. Well, here's the police report, there it's done. Call it a day. What else is there? If someone is generally not getting your stuff to you, don't use them again. This model I was talking about earlier, this is her 3rd time flaking on us, and I'm like, okay, cool. So next time she goes, you'll get this girl, I'll get this girl, we can do this work. We go, yeah, and I'll just ignore until she actually goes, I'm ready now. Because I don't have the energy. I just don't got it in me anymore. That's good. I'm just gonna play the video, it's 2 minutes long.
Gino is drunk as a son.
That's because he's trying to get Greg drunk and he failed.
It's hilarious.
And
He is hilarious. When kids left,
So he came over
I know it's hard to see. This is at a onsen, a private onsen in Japan.
No, you mentioned the bar.
I wish I could have better lighting.
I was like, oh no, it was 3 times bigger than the one from the restaurant. I was like, oh no. And he said, he goes, oh, but if I split it with red, like that's still 1.5 more than you had at the restaurant.
And you were pretty fucked up at the restaurant.
Yeah, no, he was that.
No, afterwards he gave up his
Oh, yeah.
too much. Yeah.
And then I think
I forget I cursed like a sailor normally.
and he pulls up his,
Yeah.
he pulls it up over his face. He goes, no, I'm not. Oh, you sweet you're so cute. And I love you to death.
So, this is probably something I said earlier. When you're doing shoots for things, allow people to bring their significant other into the shoot area whenever they want to. Whatever, it's a thing. This was done in Japan, and the guy was like, "Can I come?" Go. If you can afford the plane ticket, by all means. But like, I can't pay for your plane ticket. I paid for mine and for 5 other people. I'm kind of broke. You can stay with us at the hotel. You can stay with us at the onsen. That's fine. Her boyfriend then went onward to try and get one of our other, our photographer's assistant drunk. Did not work. And so we didn't have an assistant for the rest of the shooting period. Because he was busy trying to do that the entire time. It was a fun overall shoot. Everyone was having a good time. We had 3 models, myself and another photographer, and then the assistant. There was 5 tickets bought, 6 bought, 2 people bought their own tickets that came with us. And it really is it's a private Japanese onsen. Doing the shoot in Fukuoka, not the city, but the island. I don't forget which city we're in. And we had to pay a location release form money to them for several things. And it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. And we still try to do shoots like these, and we do, again, various things. We're trying to do a car meet right now, because a lot of our models also have really fancy cars, and they love doing things like that. We can set up a car meet, get some people in cosplay pictures, and we each have fancy cars. I've seen them a lot at larger conventions, especially. So you set up things. You just do these things. This is an ongoing marketing thing. You don't have to have just social media. You can do more than just take pictures of yourself. You can go out and do various things. Events are a big deal. Manly Battleships did the social earlier. That's a big marketing whatever right there. Put it on them. How to suggest. These are things you should be aware of and try to capitalize on. Someone says, "We would love to do something like this." You go, "Can I afford that? Can I do that? Am I allowed to attach my name to it? Yes or no?" Then you figure out, can you accomplish it? What's the overall deal? And do it. There are 2 types of people in photography and cosplay. Those who go, "I wish I could," those who just do it. And tell you right now, if you just keep doing it, you will eventually get yourself in trouble like I do, but it's worth it in the long run. People will always remember that moment. Always remember that moment. All right, we have about 7 minutes left. If anyone has any more questions now, it's not time to ask. I can't turn that off. He has tabs open. No? Someone's giggling, so they probably have something that they feel uncomfortable about asking. I also just used my 1 F-bomb in that movie. That was it. PG-13. You're allowed 1 F-bomb. Only 1 F-bomb, and girls can't wear anything more than lingerie. Those are the rules. I've studied movies for a very long time. Alright. Thank you guys so very much for coming. My name is Darren from Zenkaikon. Your place for cosplay, booths, entertainment news. We do panels, photography, we work with models, we do shoots. We're doing a car meet. We're working on making our own anime convention with guns, because why not? heck, I don't even know what else we're working on. We're working on so many things at once, and it's a lot of fun. Come check us out. Wherever else we will be at. We have one more panel at I want to say 1:15. Let me check right here. It might be 1:45, but it's the cryptid panel where I get to be a lot less serious and a lot more funny, and I get to talk about the two things that I care about: Bigfoot and anime. I wasn't joking about that. What is it? It's 1:45. We are at 1:45 in what room am I in? I'm in live 1 on the second floor. 1:45. Thank you guys very much for coming. Have a good rest of Zenkaikon. If you have any questions for me privately, I'll be around to go and answer them. If you're looking to go and sell me stuff, I will be around to go and answer them, and I'll give you my email. Thank you guys.